Hello and welcome back to WWE 2K20 Universe Mode, and we're here for part 2 of TLC. Of course, if you missed the first part of TLC, make sure to go back. Here's the previous video on the channel. Go back and check it out before you get spoiled, and anything that happens in that first part, you do not want to miss it. But we're kicking off part 2 of TLC, focusing on the L of TLC. It is a ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. Matt Riddle getting another opportunity at the IC Championship, but this time against Seth Rollins. Matt Riddle has kind of been quite linked with this IC Championship throughout Universe Mode, always been in the scene of being close to the IC Championship, but never being able to get his hands on it. Especially back in the days when Chad Gable was the inaugural Intercontinental Champion here in Universe Mode, but Seth Rollins became the champion, beating his former disciple Buddy Murphy in a 2 out of 3 Falls match at Hell in a Cell. But you can't look past Seth Rollins. He is also a 2-time Universal Champion. He has had a busy season of Universe Mode and has been on top of his game. The inaugural Universal Champion, the first man to be a 2-time Universal Champion, and then winning the Intercontinental Championship off his former disciple Buddy Murphy. But tonight is a different task for Seth Rollins. Can he retain his championship in a match where he does not have to be pinned? Of course, in this match, it all matters about the Intercontinental Championship hanging high above the ring. Whoever manages to pull it down first will win this match. No pinfalls, no submissions, no rules. The only thing that matters is pulling down that championship from above the ring. And Rollins and Riddle starting things off. Riddle straight away, series of punches and a slap to the face of Rollins. Very ballsy there from Riddle to take that kind of offensive attack at Seth Rollins. Before we get truly started, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you do not want to miss out on what is coming up with the Royal Rumble and then soon WrestleMania. We'll leave a comment below on who you think is going to win the Royal Rumble. Let's get back to the action at hand. Rollins and Riddle going at it right now. After Riddle got in that original blow on Rollins' face, Rollins now back on top of Riddle, taking him down, wheelbarrowing him into the bottom rope, guillotining his neck almost. And now Rollins pulling him up, a chop to the chest, going up with another punch, getting Riddle up onto his shoulders in a fireman's carry position. What is Rollins looking for here? Using the corner, snake eyes onto the turnbuckle, and Riddle collapsing into the corner. This has not been a good start for him. Not at all, but Riddle fighting back, using his strength to pick up Rollins and take him down to the mat using some of his UFC stylings. And now Riddle up to the top. Oh, very nice from Riddle, taking down Rollins again, using the top rope this time to be able to get an advantage over Rollins after Rollins dominating in the early beginnings of this match. And Riddle, the first man to go and get a ladder, putting that ladder in the ring. Of course, it is the only way to get down that championship is with a ladder. It is far too high above the ring to do it any other way. We're going to jump off the turnbuckle and grab it unless you have springy legs, which neither of these two men have. And Riddle, first man to touch the championship, but Rollins joining him up on top. These two men now fighting atop the ladder. Rollins trying to knock Riddle off the top, trying to get him off that championship, but Riddle holding on for dear life. Riddle now having to let go of the championship, looking a bit woozy on top of the ladder, and Rollins taking advantage, throwing Riddle down to the mat, and Riddle rolling out of the ring. Very unwise indeed, and Rollins has his hands on that gold, trying to get the clasp undone, just struggling to get that clasp free, but Riddle pushing the ladder down. Rollins still with his hands on the gold though, but wait a second. Riddle going up to the top turnbuckle, spear! Oh my goodness, a mid-air spear on Rollins. Rollins landing on the ladder as well. Brutal from Matt Riddle. High risk offense really working for Matt Riddle in this one. It's a very dangerous move, and now dropping Rollins onto the ladder, and Riddle looking to perform some kind of top rope move onto Rollins, but an elbow drop hits the ladder himself as Rollins moves out of the way. This time the high risk, high reward did not pay off for Riddle. Riddle crashing into that ladder, and Rollins now back on top with a Falcon's Arrow. Riddle in a bad place right now. He got this back for a second with that huge spear in the air, but after missing that elbow drop, Rollins back on top. Rollins back in charge of this one. proving why he is such a dominant man here in Universe Mode. But Riddle, a series of punches and kicks to Rollins, throwing Rollins out of the ring, trying to get him away as far as possible, you got to think. Oh, chucking Rollins, just missing the ladder. I think he was trying to throw him onto that ladder on the floor, but just missing. And now two men not hitting each other, missing each other as they tried to go for two different super kicks there. Rollins now trying to get rid of Riddle, dropping him to the outside, and once again, Rollins with the ladder, setting it up as Riddle lies on the outside. Rollins all clear in the ring, no one to stop him, no one to get in his way, but Riddle on the outside slowly getting back to his feet as Rollins clasps his hands on that Intercontinental Championship, trying to pull it down, trying to get it free. But Riddle back in the ring, climbing up the ladder, going face to face with Rollins on top of the ladder. Oh, big chop to the face from Rollins there. The punch back from Riddle. These two men going back and forth. Who is going to be knocked off the ladder this time? Wait a second. What is Rollins thinking here? Oh my goodness, neck breaker. Off the top of the ladder, down to the floor. Oh my goodness. Riddle has already fallen off that ladder once. But this time a neck breaker off the top, but Rollins having to sacrifice his own body to be able to do that damage to Riddle in that one. These two men really taking it to the extremes in this match, both showing what this Intercontinental Championship means to them. Neither man wanting to give up on this gold. It shows how important this is. But both men just will not give up, putting their bodies on the line, and Rollins with his hand on the gold, but Riddle, he just isn't moving. Not moving in the slightest on the floor. And it looks like Rollins has done it. And Rollins still the Intercontinental Championship after that swinging neck breaker from the top of the ladder to Matt Riddle, and Riddle still not moving. Just look at this again. The move that ended the match for Matt Riddle. And Rollins pulling down that gold. Still your Intercontinental Champion. He has broken the curse of TLC so far. So far in TLC it had been all title changes. He is the first man to keep his championship. Hopefully that means good things for the other champions here tonight at TLC. But this match, there is no championship involved. This match is just a bounty. A bounty that has been put out on Finn Balor's head by the general manager of Monday Night Raw, Batista. After Finn Balor won at Survivor Series, Batista decided to reward him. Instead of doing what he's done for other people with Andrade, he gave him a US Championship match with Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch. They got Raw Women's Championship opportunities, and that was a hell of a match. You need to go back and check out part 1 if you want to see that match. But Finn Balor, the last man surviving for the Raw team, was greeted with this man right here. Batista sending Brock Lesnar to destroy Finn Balor, hitting him with two huge, three F5s, and then signing this match. Batista making this match official as soon as that had taken place, not asking Finn Balor's permission for that one in the slightest, signing the contract himself for Brock Lesnar to come to TLC to destroy Finn Balor. You gotta think this is all Batista's ego going wild. The idea that Batista couldn't win at Survivor Series, he couldn't be Shane McMahon, and you've seen what happened with AJ Styles and Kevin Owens after AJ insulted Batista. Batista could not take it, and I think it's similar with Finn Balor. I think Batista, well, after not being able to beat Shane McMahon, he held anger and rage against the fact that Finn Balor managed to pick up the big win in the main event to save Raw, being the superstar that managed to bring the victory home to Monday Night Raw, and Batista wanted that man to be him. I think that's why he sent Brock Lesnar to come and destroy Finn Balor. But tonight, this is not a surprise attack. Finn Balor ready for this match tonight. But this is not going to be easy for Balor in the slightest. Brock Lesnar is, well, he is a monster. A complete monster, and has not been defeated in Universe Mode. Only having 2 matches so far. 1 match against Baron Corbin. Again, on Batista's request. Destroying Baron Corbin after Batista had had enough of him. And then the Survivor Series, of course, Brock Lesnar was called in after Sheamus was taken out by Drew McIntyre. Of course, we'll talk more about Sheamus and Drew in our main event of the evening for the WWE Championship. But Batista brought in Brock Lesnar as a mercenary to fill in for Sheamus' space in that match. And did exactly what he was supposed to do. He went and got himself counted out to get Braun Strowman, the Monster Punk's men, counted out. Our new Universal Champion, by the way, Braun Strowman. So Brock has done his job. He's done his job for Batista, and I'm sure he's getting paid very handsomely for it. But this one, it just... Brock Lesnar's kind of been treated like a puppet. You gotta think, how long is Brock gonna enjoy that? I know he's getting paid a lot of money, but you don't really want to get treated like a bitch. It's not particularly ideal. They're saying, what is Brock doing? Oh my goodness. Powerbombing Finn Balor from inside the ring down to the floor on the outside, and Brock is dominating the demon right now. Finn Balor in a very, very bad position. Brock Lesnar has the number of Finn Balor and has been destroying him. And Finn's back has got to be in pieces right now after that huge powerbomb, and Brock Lesnar not letting up in the slightest, straight back on Balor. But Balor punch to the gut, Balor fighting back. He is not going to give up this easily against Brock Lesnar. Oh, big kick, catching Finn off guard, and then the punch to the back of the head from the Beast Incarnate. Finn Balor in a very bad position right now, and Brock, just look at that strength of Brock Lesnar, deadlifting Finn Balor from the mat and slamming him straight back into it. And Finn wisely making his way out of the ring, but Brock does not take his eyes off of Finn Balor, and Finn caught straight away into a German suplex. Suplex City is soon to be home of Finn Balor, and here we go a second time. This is not good at all for Finn Balor. But Finn this time reversing, punches to the face, catching the eye of Brock Lesnar for a second. Is that enough? Finn, no! Finn was about to drop Brock with a huge DDT, but Brock catching him with the last possible second. And now Finn once again up on the shoulders of Lesnar. Is Lesnar going to do it for a second time? And yes, he is! Oh my goodness, Finn Balor, someone needs to potentially stop this match. Brock Lesnar now climbing on top, pummeling down on the face of Finn Balor. And Finn just having to cover his face, trying to hide away from the assault from the Beast Incarnate. But Finn, oh no, once again, Brock at the last second was ready for it. Finn trying to drop down that DDT again, but Brock Lesnar catching Finn Balor once again at the last second, and now that ground and pound is back again. And Finn is in a very bad place. The referee up to a 7 count right now. Is Brock Lesnar going to go for a count out victory, or is he going to bring Finn back into the ring? Well, we're never going to know, because Finn got the reversal, throwing Brock in himself. And now Brock and Finn back in the ring, but Brock straight away back on Finn Balor. He has not had to take a second off in this match. Brock Lesnar has never lost focus on Balor. He has always been focused on him, and that is what has helped him so much. But Finn raking the eyes of Brock, but Brock Lesnar straight away reversing, catching the drop kick of Balor. Got to give it to Finn Balor. He has heart. He is not giving up in this one, but it is not looking good for him. And again, German suplex over Brock Lesnar, this time holding on to Finn Balor, not releasing the suplex and turning it into a third suplex, which this time Brock Lesnar finally releases after Finn Balor's back has been through the works. And now Brock calling Finn Balor up to his feet. You know what this is going to be. And yes, it is. It is the F5 landing on Finn Balor. And is that enough? 1, 2. Wow, that was a domination from Brock Lesnar to Finn Balor right there. He just destroyed that man. Absolutely pulverizing him. Well, Batista certainly got what he wanted from that one. Brock Lesnar doing exactly what Batista wanted. I hope that we have some medical professionals backstage to check on Finn Balor, and I hope that he is okay after that defeat, but you gotta say, Brock Lesnar, a beast, a complete beast, and if he decides to, well, he could definitely be a front runner for that Royal Rumble. So now we move on to perhaps a controversial match here tonight. It is the Women's Tag Team Championships, and you see, it wasn't supposed to be this match. This match wasn't supposed to be happening, but Nia Jax, she went against her good friend Dakota Kai, her tag team partner Dakota Kai's back, and made this match official. You see, Nia Jax and Dakota Kai had been dominant champions. They had been undefeated until at Survivor Series when they came head to head with Ember Moon and Bianca Belair. But during that time, they'd managed to defeat Sasha Banks and Bayley. Sasha Banks being the SmackDown Women's Champion, who Dakota Kai had pinned. And after they lost their championship, Dakota was happy to try and get that championship from Sasha Banks. She had the opportunity because she'd already pinned Sasha Banks in a tag team contest. But when Dakota Kai wasn't there one week, Nia Jax, well, she made the match official herself. She went and spoke to Shane McMahon. She signed the contract and made this rematch official for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And Dakota Kai not happy with that. That is the reason why Asuka faced Sasha Banks earlier tonight. And it was not a good opportunity for Dakota Kai. We have to see how she feels about it. We haven't seen her since Nia Jax did this. Since the 1 week Dakota Kai wasn't at SmackDown, Nia Jax made this official, and we haven't seen Dakota Kai since. And she's here tonight. We've seen her come out, so we know she's going to be here for this match, but I think there's a lot of friction between the tag team challengers here tonight. If you look at Ember Moon and Bianca Belair are champions, they haven't really had much opportunity as champions yet. They've only held the championships for a month, and they're not a tag team. They're not a tag team. They're two single stars who have come together. Like, they had one tag team match, and Batista was like, yeah, you're the guys that I want to go to Survivor Series. He didn't have a team in mind, so he chose them as the team to go forward to Survivor Series, and they managed to get the big win. You can't deny that they did it. But they're not a tag team. They still don't really have that connection in the ring as to how they're going to survive. But this is a tables match here tonight. So Dakota Kai and Nia Jax, they don't necessarily need to work together as much as they necessarily would do. Whoever manages to put one member of the opposing team through a table first will get the big victory here tonight. Bianca and Dakota going at it. I was going to say that, but Nia Jax deciding to take down Bianca Belair as soon as she was getting the upper hand on Dakota Kai. And now Nia Jax getting Bianca in position for a huge powerbomb and looking to powerbomb her out of the ring like Brock Lesnar did earlier. But Bianca fighting back and not allowing herself to go flying through the table within 30 seconds of the match starting. But Ember Moon and Dakota now, Ember Moon and Bianca I should say, now teaming up on Dakota Kai. While Nia Jax tries to get a table from the outside. Dakota Kai not been doing too well in this match so far. You gotta say perhaps that is the distraction in her head over what's been going on. The fact that she doesn't want to be in this match. And even more so, you look at the actual SmackDown Women's Championship match, and again, if you haven't seen part 1, go back and check it out, but Asuka beat Sasha Banks for that championship. Dakota probably feels like she would have won the championship tonight. This would have been her opportunity. Asuka did it, so Dakota Kai could have done it as well. Nia Jax was working down Ember Moon on that table, trying to make sure it's done enough damage to Ember Moon to be able to put her through the table, and Dakota Kai now throwing her into that table. Jax trying to be able to knock her through, but I think Ember managed to get a knee up to the face of Nia Jax, preventing it from happening. But now Ember thrown out of the ring, rolling out, getting out of there, and then Bianca Belair in a bad position, in a 2-on-1 position right now. Nia Jax and Dakota Kai in the ring. Bad place to be indeed. And Nia Jax bringing in a second table as Dakota Kai sets up a table in the middle of the ring. Immediately knocking it down to go and hit Bianca Belair in the back with a dropkick from the second rope. And Nia Jax picking on the table, trying to work out where she wants to place this table, trying to find the best place in the ring for this. But Ember Moon back in, taking it to Dakota Kai, hitting a Northern Light suplex onto her. And Bianca now trying to put Nia Jax through the table maybe. And instead using the table as a weapon, throwing Nia Jax's head through the table. Now look at that strength of Bianca. Oh! I was so close. First he saw the strength of Bianca to be able to hold Nia Jax up there like that, just bouncing her up and down for a second it looked like. But then slightly misjudged the table, catching on the side of the table, making it so it didn't break and just the legs buckled. Bianca so close to being able to put away Nia Jax there. You got to say, Nia's in a very strange position in this match, in an advantage and a disadvantage is what I would say. Like, you look at the strength that Nia has, she can easily put someone through a table. Very easily with chiropractor from Dakota Kai. Not that it matters, there's no pinfalls in this match. But as I was saying, Nia can easily put someone through a table. But if someone managed to just knock Nia into the table, it's very much more likely to break given the weight that would be landing on that table from Nia hitting it. Ember Moon on the outside at the moment. Bianca alone in the ring once again with Dakota and Nia. And Dakota breaking up Nia Jax's move, and Nia almost hitting Dakota in the face then. That miscommunication between these two. The issues between the two of them could be the thing that costs them here tonight. Cost them from getting back their tag team championships. And now Nia getting Bianca in position to powerbomb her. Oh, but again, slightly misjudging the table. And Bianca survives in the same way that Nia Jax did earlier in this match, by misjudging where in the centre of the table was. It also could have been Bianca slightly managing to manoeuvre her weight in midair to be able to make sure that she did land in the centre of that table. But Dakota setting up another table in the corner. 2 tables in the corners right now. And Ember Moon once again. Oh my goodness, Nia Jax almost put Dakota through the table for a second. And Nia taking down Ember with a big suplex, but Ember straight back to her feet, and Bianca Belair back into the ring, looking to take out the former tag team champions right now, but caught straight away by Nia Jax, hitting a bulldog onto Bianca as Bianca was focused on putting Dakota Kai through the table in the bottom right hand corner of the ring. Nia now getting Ember into the corner, spearing over that table, somehow doesn't break. I don't understand how that table did not break right there. But Nia using the table, hitting it into Bianca to break up the move she was trying to hit on Dakota Kai right there. And now Nia and Dakota in there alone with Bianca Belair. They've done a very good job at isolating their opponents, but there's been so much miscommunication between these two women. They keep on hitting each other and getting in each other's way. There is no communication between this team anymore. This team that was so together that they were undefeated for such a long amount of time. Oh, but the table doesn't break again. These tables must be made out of iron or something ridiculous like that, because that body slam, that should have broken the table, but instead just both the legs buckled. And Ember trying to powerbomb Dakota, but Nia Jax manages to save Dakota Kai, taking down Ember Moon, saving the tag team champions. And Dakota, taking down Bianca, and a leg drop to Ember Moon right now. Still got that table in the bottom right hand corner. Bianca being forced to roll out of the ring, and again the tag team work of Dakota and Nia, ending up with one woman isolated in the ring again. You have to say they've been very unlucky with the way these tables have been so far in this match, just not breaking for them. Dakota's trying to set up another table, but changing her mind, and again the miscommunication allowing Ember Moon to get her hands on the table and getting it out of the corner for a second. But Nia now back with the table, hitting it straight into Ember Moon. And Dakota, the series of kicks to the chest of Ember Moon. Bianca Belair back in the ring, now taking it to Nia Jax. Oh my goodness, having Nia on your shoulders like that. Brutal from Bianca Belair to show that strength of Bianca. But wait a second. She is calling for that KOD. Is she going to be able to do it through the table? KOD, but not close enough. Just missing the table as Bianca Belair And Bianca, you look at her and she is frustrated right now. Frustrated with herself for missing the table with that KOD as Dakota Kai hits the big boot into the corner. Oh, it's like a Nia this time. No, Nia reversing the second KOD attempt. Trying to put Bianca through the table, but again the table not breaking properly. The legs just buckling. The table refusing to break. And again, the chiropractor this time to Ember Moon. It doesn't matter about the pinfalls in this one. It doesn't matter in the sliders. All that matters is going through that table, and Nia Jax taking authority, getting Ember Moon in position. But Bianca getting back into the ring. But is it too late? Nia Jax powerbomb position and powerbomb through the table. And they have won them back. Nia Jax and Dakota Kai once again your women's tag team champions for the second time here in Universe mode. Well, Nia Jax is going to be very, very happy with herself that her betrayal of her best friend has worked out so well. Her betrayal against Dakota Kai has ended up winning them back the women's tag team championships, and maybe that is enough of a reward for Dakota Kai to make her not be so upset with Nia Jax. But we're going to have to wait and see what happens between the relationship between our current women's tag team champions and the most dominant tag team in the women's division in Universe mode. But now it is time for our semi-main event of the evening, and it is for the United States Championship. In a standard one-on-one match, this one, no stipulations at all for this match. Andrade getting his opportunity, his one-on-one opportunity against Aleister Black, the United States Championship, after Batista awarded Andrade this opportunity after being the team captain of the Men's Survivor Series team. While Batista very proud of his protege Andrade and hopes that finally he will be rid of Aleister Black as United States Championship. Batista has so many issues with Aleister Black as champion. He's been trying to get that championship belt away from Aleister Black, and it hasn't worked out for him so far. Aleister has been undefeated since coming to Monday Night Raw, apart from one small match, a match where Batista completely screwed Aleister Black. It was supposed to be a tag team contest, Black and Bate versus Andrade and Orton. But before the match started, Batista bombed Tyler Bate through a table in the backstage area, preventing Tyler Bate from being able to make it to the match. And Aleister, he wasn't going to turn down a fight. That is not what this man does. He does not walk away from a fight in the slightest. So he took him on 2-on-1, but the numbers game, it was too much for Aleister Black on that occasion, and Randy Orton managed to pin Aleister Black, and that is the one faux pas against Aleister Black's name here on Monday Night Raw. But Batista doesn't like that. Batista's had enough of Black as the United States Champion, because Aleister Black was originally a SmackDown superstar. There was a trade for Johnny Gargano and Aleister Black. And Aleister came here and beat everyone, which Batista has had enough of. He sent Randy Orton after him, but Aleister Black managed to put him away. And then every week up until Survivor Series, Aleister Black was forced to defend that United States Championship in one-on-ones, in triple threats. But he still managed to hold on to that gold. But tonight, Batista's protege, Andrade, is coming after the gold, and this is going to be a hard-fought match between these two. And could this be the night where finally we see Aleister Black lose a one-on-one match? Could this be the night where we see a new United States Champion? I'm sure Andrade would love for that to come true, and he is out here all in gold. He is ready for some gold around his waist to match the rest of his gear here tonight. And Aleister straight away putting Andrade down to the man, trying to pin him, trying to make Andrade give up straight away, giving him the opportunity to quit this match before the punishment that Aleister Black is going to give him. And straight away, of course, Aleister Black, those kicks Those brutal kicks from Aleister Black and the knee to the face of Andrade. This is a bad place to be straight away. Andrade getting the reversal, managing to pull Black down to the mat, and a drop kick to the side of the head, catching Aleister Black a little bit off guard there for a second. If Andrade wants to get this match won, he needs to keep the pace fast in this one. He needs to take Aleister Black off guard. Make sure that Aleister cannot get in those kicks, cannot get in that black mass, that devastating black mass. Andrade needs to do everything in his power to try and avoid that from happening. With Aleister managing to catch the leg of Andrade, getting a reversal, and now instead Aleister Black throwing Andrade into a different corner. What is Black looking for here? Trying to get a kick, but Andrade reversing, catching the leg. But another reversal from Black, getting the leg to the back of the head of Andrade, taking him down and going for another pin for one. Very early in the match, no chance Andrade is going to be out just like that. Aleister Black, look at this series of offense. Andrade trying to get away from it, but he just can't. He cannot get away from those razor-like kicks of Aleister Black. Black now also working down the arm of Andrade. Very clever. Of course, Andrade needs to use that arm to be able to lock in that hammerlock DDT. And it's what helps make his move so efficient, is the idea of managing to get that lock, that hammerlock aspect in. That is what makes it such an effective move, and without full use of his arm, it's going to be very difficult for Andrade to be able to do that. Andrade crashing and burning with that suicide dive there. Now these two fighting on the outside. Of course, there is DQ on and there is count out on in this match. So, if either man's out there for too long, Aleister Black will retain his championship thanks to champion's advantage. That is not what Andrade is going to want. Even if he wins by count out or wins by DQ, it doesn't matter. Aleister Black will still be your United States champion. After a 7 count, and Andrade getting himself back into the ring while Aleister Black riding on the outside after being hit into those steps on the outside. Aleister Black on a 9 count, getting himself back into the ring. As you would expect, this man is not going to be running away from a fight anytime soon. And Aleister Black around the world into a DDT, but the DDT being stopped by Andrade as he punches to the midsection of Aleister Black, catching him in the head scissors and taking him down to the mat. Andrade now trying to move the body of Aleister Black, and what is he looking for here? Grabbing the legs of Black and just kicking to the gut, looking to wind Aleister Black, maybe looking to damage the ribs of Black as well. And now calling him to his feet, Andrade. And Andrade somersault into the kick to the face of Aleister Black. The momentum of that kick taking Aleister Black down, almost getting the pinfall on him, but not enough. Not enough from Andrade. It's going to take a lot more than that to be able to keep this man down. This man undefeated. That's all you have to say, undefeated. Except, of course, for the handicap match. But in one-on-one contest, undefeated in the hammerlock DDT. No! Too early in the match, I believe, for Andrade to be trying to hit such a big move. It is not late enough in the match here. Aleister Black has not taken enough punishment from Andrade. But it does show that Andrade does have a chance getting in the hammerlock so early in the match, catching Black off guard like that. It says that he stands a chance. He has an opportunity in this. This could be his night. And he's trying to put away Aleister Black with a submission right now, just wrenching on the neck of Black. But Black managing to get out of it after quite a bit of time being stuck in that submission hold. But Black now straight away back on offense on Andrade, not giving him a second. And now similarly to what Andrade did, Aleister Black calling him up from the corner. And the running knee, but Andrade moving out of the way, Andrade avoiding the running knee, managing to get out of the way of Aleister Black as he sprinted at full force towards him with that knee. Andrade did the only thing he could do, move just out of the way, but then caught, kicked directly to the face of Andrade. Is he out? He might have been out for a second, you never know, but he wasn't out long enough. He was not out long enough, managing to fight back and getting out of that pinfall and cutter from Aleister Black. And Aleister Black just sitting for a second, staring at Andrade as Andrade tries to get himself back to his feet. The dazed completely, and Aleister Black into the cutter, but this time into a submission out of the cutter, turning it into a submission, trying to make Andrade tap out right now, trying to put him to sleep But Andrade getting out of it, pulling Aleister Black over his shoulders to get it out of that submission position. And now slamming Aleister Black down to the mat. Aleister having to roll out of the ring for a second and use the ropes to be able to get himself back to his feet. Andrade trying for something, but Black reversing. Catching Andrade with a roll up there. 1, 2. Oh, so close. Andrade almost put away from that roll up from Aleister Black. Andrade getting some elbows to the face of Black, preventing whatever he was looking for there. And now throwing him into the ropes and catching him. Oh, very nice from Andrade. He almost looked like Aleister Black had the offense then for a second, but Andrade turning it around and slamming Black face first. But another hammerlock DDT the second time. The second hammerlock DDT. 1, 2. No. Oh, we were so close to a new United States Championship. Andrade almost did the impossible there. The second hammerlock DDT. So close to putting away Aleister Black just then. So close. Literally a hair away from doing it. And he is calling Black back to his feet. What is Andrade looking for here? I don't know, but he has thrown Aleister Black into the corner. But Black getting the elbow, preventing whatever Andrade wanted to go for. But Andrade now reversing again, throwing Black into the other corner, going for a boot into Aleister Black. But Black reversal, and reversal between these guys. Andrade. Oh my goodness, look at that strength of Andrade. Taking it into a pinfall position by Aleister Black, hands in the rope. But the idea that Andrade can just lift Aleister Black like that, very impressive indeed. Not what I was expecting. I actually expected Andrade to take that roll up as it was presented to him, but instead lifting Aleister Black like that, very impressive. Andrade now throwing Aleister Black to the outside of the ring. Aleister just holding on, and Andrade using the ropes. Oh, vintage DDT. He has been taking some lessons from Randy Orton right now. It's not surprised me at all. I'm sure those guys have really been helping each other out quite a bit under Batista's tutelage. Aleister Black rolling to the outside, getting himself out of the ring away from Andrade. But Andrade catching Black straight away, throwing him into the corner. And Hurricane Rana taking Aleister Black down to the mat. And Andrade looking to go high risk, going to that top rope, looking for something big right now. Looking for a big moonsault directly to Aleister Black, landing directly to the midsection. And Aleister caught off guard, but Andrade, I think, took too long to get to the pinfall. And yes, he did. Aleister Black able to kick out from the big moonsault from Andrade. But Andrade not letting up, straight away back on Aleister Black, now looking to break the arm of Black, looking to make him tap out by wrenching that arm, wrenching it away in from the body in a way it should not move. But Aleister Black managing to roll over, punches to the face to force Andrade to break the hold, break the submission hold, and a big kick to follow up. Wait a second. What is going on? Something weird is happening to our set, our picture. I don't understand what's happening right now. Wait a second. No, it can't be. It can't be, no. He's back. He's back. The Fiend is back. The Fiend getting his revenge on Aleister Black. The Fiend is back. Mandible claw to Black, and the referee didn't see a thing. The referee didn't see the Fiend returning to get his revenge on Aleister Black, and Andrade crawling over on top of Aleister Black right now. 1, 2. And the Fiend cost Aleister Black the United States Championship. So wondering when the Fiend was going to turn up again. The last time we saw him was a Hell in a Cell. But Aleister Black came out and confronted the Fiend, having enough of what the Fiend was doing to AJ Styles and the Club and Finn Balor and everyone that the Fiend had been attacking. No one had been brave enough to stand up to the Fiend, and Aleister Black did it. He took him out with a black mass. And the Fiend hadn't been seen since, but tonight he has returned. Tonight the Fear has returned to Monday Night Raw, and he has taken revenge. He has set his mark, he has set his sights on the man. On the man that took away his prestige here in Universe Mode. But Andrade happy, very happy to capitalise on the Fiend's doing here tonight.
The following contest,
oh my goodness, that has taken all the energy out of me, that one. that surprise return. And Aleister Black finally losing a one-on-one match here in Universe Mode, but we do have to move on. It is time for the main event of the evening, and this match is incredibly personal between these two men. Sheamus has just been a force. He has been wrecking everything for Drew McIntyre as of late. Ever since Sheamus pinned Drew McIntyre, being the first man to pin him since he won the WWE Championship. Sheamus pinned him in a tag team contest where Drew wasn't even supposed to be a part of the match, but Drew wanted to come out there and support Finn Balor, who'd been attacked by Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler before the match. Made a tag team match, but Sheamus pinned Drew McIntyre in that match and wanted his opportunity at the WWE Championship, but the contract had already been signed. It was Finn Balor versus Drew McIntyre at Hell in a Cell. Finn Balor lost. Sheamus came in, grabbed the championship and attacked Drew McIntyre, hitting him overhead with the WWE Championship. And again, demanded his opportunity, demanded his match against Drew McIntyre, but it wasn't given to him because it was Survivor Series. Drew McIntyre had to go and face Tommaso Ciampa. But Sheamus doesn't care. He doesn't care about brand supremacy or any of this stuff. Sheamus came out there, cost Drew McIntyre that match against Tommaso Ciampa, and then these two men brawling in the backstage area, and Sheamus was no longer able to compete in the Raw's Men's Survivor Series match. These two are just causing issues for everyone else in the entire Raw locker room. And finally, these two men are going to be forced to go one-on-one. Forced to prove who is the better man. And forced to put this behind them. You can't keep doing this forever. These two men are just going to destroy everything. Everything on Monday Night Raw unless they get this sorted. So Batista made it official. And it is a TLC match for our main event. You see that championship hanging above the ring. Everything is legal, but the only thing you have to remember is no pinfalls, no submissions. You just got to get that championship down from over the top of the ring. Can Drew McIntyre get his vengeance on Sheamus? Can he get his win back after Sheamus pinned him in that tag team contest? You've got to say, since then, Drew McIntyre has not really been looking as good as a champion. He was looking very strong after cashing in a SummerSlam for that WWE Championship, but since Sheamus has come into his life, he's been very different for the WWE Champion. He lost to Sheamus, obviously, lost to Tommaso Ciampa, and then he lost to Samoa Joe a couple of weeks ago when we had a pick your poison match where Sheamus chose an opponent for Drew McIntyre and Drew chose an opponent for Sheamus. Sheamus easily beat Shinsuke Nakamura, but Drew McIntyre lost to Samoa Joe, being too distracted by Sheamus on the outside, allowed Samoa Joe to lock in the Coquina clutch and make the WWE Champion go to sleep. And things have not been in good stead for Drew McIntyre. He needs to win this. He needs to put Sheamus behind him. You gotta think that's the only way he gets back on top of his game, as he moves forward and beats Sheamus. Drew McIntyre is going to want to main event WrestleMania, and this is his way to do it, holding on to that WWE Championship all the way to WrestleMania. Go up against the Royal Rumble winner and main event. That's what Drew wants to do. He wants to not lose this WWE Champion. He wants to be the most dominant champion in history. But he has to go through Sheamus here tonight. He has to be able to deal with him in this TLC match. And things aren't necessarily going too well for either of these men. There were the multiple chair shots to start things off. Drew McIntyre tried to powerbomb Sheamus through a table on the outside. And now, wait a second, Drew McIntyre spearing Sheamus through the table in the corner. And now back to those chair shots, trying to take down Sheamus with the chair. And Sheamus just knocked completely dizzy. Trying to clamber his way to the ropes to be able to get back to his feet. But Drew McIntyre not letting up. He wants to make sure that Sheamus is done for, and then beckoning Sheamus back to his feet, telling him to come on, and getting greeted by that Glasgow kiss, headbutt straight to the head, and Sheamus is down as Drew McIntyre goes outside the ring to go and get the ladder to be able to climb up to pull down his WWE Championship. But Sheamus starting to stir, getting himself back to his feet before Drew McIntyre can get back on top of that ladder. And Sheamus now climbing up top after throwing Drew McIntyre out of the ring. But Drew back into the ring. Sheamus on top of the ladder trying to get that championship down. But Drew McIntyre now joining him up top. These two men on top of the ladder. These huge men fighting so high above the ring as Sheamus desperately tries to hold on to that championship. But Drew McIntyre... Wait a second, no. Sheamus's move. The white noise. Drew McIntyre just hit Sheamus's white noise from the top of the ladder onto Sheamus, and Sheamus is going to be in pieces after that. Oh my goodness. Just look at this, the brutality of where Drew McIntyre is prepared to go in this match to keep his championship, but it also has to do some damage to himself. To fall off the ladder that high is not a place you want to be, and Drew McIntyre now, he is thinking about what he wants to do. He could have climbed the ladder right then, could have potentially got the championship down, but instead wanting to inflict more punishment on Sheamus, taking the top of that announce table off. And just look, Sheamus hasn't moved. Drew could have got the championship down. Drew could have won this match right then, but instead he wants to cause more damage to Sheamus, going for a chair, knocking Sheamus off the ladder as Sheamus desperately tried to climb up the ladder. Sheamus in a very bad place, but I take it back. Bro kick. Just bro kick out of nowhere. And you look at the way that chair fell. That chair Drew McIntyre was holding got knocked behind Drew McIntyre, and Drew fell right on that chair from the bro kick. This is not good. This is not a good position for Drew McIntyre. Drew down, but Sheamus is wise enough to get up there and start trying to pull down that championship. He is so close to getting that championship, and Drew McIntyre, I think Drew just saved it. Oh my goodness, back body drop to Sheamus, pulling him down as he was holding onto that championship, just about to release the clasp. So close. Sheamus had that within his fingertips. And now Drew throwing Sheamus to the outside. Is he looking for what he was looking for before? Perhaps he should learn his lesson and get back in the ring, try and get that championship down. Instead of wasting your time trying to get vengeance on Sheamus, the most important thing here is getting that championship back. And Sheamus knows this. Sheamus wisely has always kept his eye on that championship. He has always been climbing that ladder, always trying to get up there. But Drew catching Sheamus, DDT onto the chair, onto the steel chair. And Drew now attacking Sheamus with that chair, catching him again a second time. DDT onto the steel chair from Drew McIntyre, that cold steel hitting the face of Sheamus, and it looks like Sheamus has been cut open at this point. Looks like some blood is trickling from the top of his head as Drew McIntyre getting a second chair and bringing it into the ring. And just continuing the assault on Sheamus. Drew McIntyre taking this way too far. He just wants to destroy Sheamus right now. I understand, like, this has been such a personal feud between these two men, but Drew, he needs to focus on that championship hanging above the ring. He cannot forget about that. And a white noise again. Drew McIntyre really taking a leaf out of Sheamus's book for this one. And Drew has Sheamus in position, trying to take him somewhere. I don't know where Drew's trying to get him. He's trying to get him back over to that announce table once again. Announce table which he managed to pull the top off earlier in this match. Oh, Sheamus trying to go for the bro kick. But Drew just managing to move out of the way, preventing the bro kick from hitting this time. It could have been a second surprise bro kick. That would have been it for Drew McIntyre if he'd managed to hit it. Drew now getting outside. Sheamus down on the floor, and Drew definitely looking to put Sheamus through that announce table right now. Sheamus in a bad position. Is it going to happen? Drew working down Sheamus, hitting his head into the table. And Sheamus now fighting back. He does not want to go through that announce table. He knows that that is going to be a very bad place to be if your name is Sheamus. But Sheamus managing to fight back, getting Drew McIntyre away from that announce table right now, pulling Drew back to his feet, getting him as far away from that announce table as possible and throwing him into those steel stairs. Just trying to damage the midsection of Drew McIntyre right now. And Sheamus just throwing him around the ring. Drew McIntyre not having an answer right now for any of these moves that Sheamus is bringing. Pulling Drew McIntyre back to his feet and now throwing him into the corner. Wait a second, what is Sheamus thinking here? Sheamus! Spear through the barricade! Oh my goodness! Well, that is one way to take Drew McIntyre out of this match. Spearing him through the barricade in the corner. But has the damage been done to Sheamus as well? Has too much damage been done to Sheamus? You can see that blood on the side of his head from the chair shots that he has taken. And the Glasgow kiss. And Sheamus now running back in the ring. He has always been laser focused on that championship. Drew McIntyre still down. And Sheamus trying. He's so tired trying to climb up to the top of that ladder. But Drew McIntyre not moving. McIntyre down on the outside. Not moving in the slightest. And Sheamus in the middle of the ring. Just as Drew McIntyre starts to get to his feet, he sees Sheamus pulling down the championship, and we have a new WWE champion. Sheamus has proved his point. He has proved that he deserved to be champion. He has done it. He has put away Drew McIntyre, and Drew, he has got to be disappointed by this one. But what a match between these two men, and what a night for TLC. And what a night for Sheamus, the new WWE champion. But of course, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. You do not want to miss out on the Royal Rumble, our next pay-per-view. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.